Hey everybody, we're live. I'm really excited because in just roughly a minute, more, I feel like 2 minutes and 42 seconds, we're going to have the nominations for the 95th Academy Awards. This is one of my favorite times of year. And I didn't do any nominations predictions this time. 2 minutes and 39, we got the countdown going. I will announce them off and give you my reaction as it happens. I watch this every year, and oh boy, I just am excited. I'm going to type, first of all, before I do anything else, let me do this. Let me share this. Well, I've got 2 minutes and so many seconds remaining, right? See if I go here. And I've never done it quite this way before. If you're saying, why am I not showing it this way here? It's because YouTube has some very weird copyright restrictions that new ones that I really don't want to run afoul of. Okay, and so that's why this is more of a reaction to what we're going to be witnessing here, and it's not my intent to show it, even though it seems like it's broadcast all over the place, doesn't it? Right? So that's not what I'm going to be doing here at all. What I'm going to be doing, straight up, is showing on Twitter what the reactions are. And so you'll see that. So I'm going to do is go right now over to my StreamYard. Hi there. And I'm going to install. It's 8:30 now, so we should be getting going anytime very soon. I am going to show the Twitter screen, which is here. Okay. Boom. All right. And we'll get the nominations look here as it comes up. And here we go. 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 Here. Wow. Everybody's on this one. Okay, there we go, folks. And I can't hear anything. Can you? Wait a minute. There's the Academy. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. No, okay, there it is. Here we go.
For nearly a century now, the Oscars has been the most esteemed celebration of movies in the world. It is a chance for us to showcase the very best films of the past year and for global movie fans to come together.
What I'm going to do
a spotlight on artists working on both sides of the camera.
Put it like that. There we go. Reaction. Okay. And I'm going to type the categories here. And they say the final, but this is it. Is chosen by the entire Academy membership. Ooh. There's a lot of talk about diversity in the Oscars. And oh, here we go. Here goes the Get Out lady. 2022 Oscar winner Riz Ahmed and the star and executive producer of Megan. Yay. Everybody's there. It's 5:32 in the morning. Oh, Allison looks gorgeous. Ooh, man, Allison looks hot. Okay. Just straight out. Wow. Good morning, everybody. We've been awake all night. Nice, Allison. Nice. So excited, so honored. We're excited. I'm excited. You're excited. The nominations for the 95th Oscars.
Good morning, everybody. Riz, I am so happy to be here with you. You've been nominated twice, and you won an Oscar last year. So I just wanted to know, did you watch
if you remember Allison, if you're watching this, Allison was in the breakout movie Get Out, made by Ryan Coogler, and gave Daniel Kaluuya, who played her on-screen husband. Here we go. Nominees for actress in supporting role. Actress. Supporting. Angela Bassett. Wow. Angela Bassett. Hong Chow. Oops, excuse me. Okay. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett. So you have Angela Bassett, Hong Chow.
Next are the nominees for Chief
Wow.
in Costume Design.
I'll have the full list as we go along. Hold on a second. Babylon.
Wakanda Forever.
Black Panther costume designs. 2 for Black Panther already. Elvis. Catherine Martin. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. This is for costume design. This is for costume design.
Red's given the extraordinary sound design on your film, Sound of Metal. Why don't you take
So,
this next category?
let's see if I can get the Twitter to move. So, All's Quiet on the Western Front. Avatar, The Way of Water. The Batman. This is for sound. This is achievement in sound, okay? This is sound. Elvis. Top Gun Maverick. And Top Gun Maverick.
Next up, here
Let me
are
see
the
what
nominees
some
for
of the
Achievement
reactions
in
are.
Music, original score. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Some of the LA's is costume. There's the Babylon. This is original score. Babylon. The Banshees of Inisherin.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And The Fablemans.
And The Fablemans. This is for original score. Okay.
And now we have the first
Best supporting actress. There we go. First, his adapted screenplay is next.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All's Quiet on the Western Front. Have you seen that? Glass Onion, great movie. Glass Onion. So this is now for adapted screenplay. Living. Top Gun Maverick. That's its first nomination. That's for adapted screenplay. So, Women Talking. That's for adapted screenplay.
And here are the
That's
nominees for original screenplay.
now we have for original screenplay.
The Banshees of Inisherin, written by Martin.
The Banshees of Inisherin. But that thing is cleaning up.
Everywhere All at Once, written by
Everything Everywhere All at Once is number 2.
The Fablemans.
The
written by
Fablemans.
Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner.
That's another one for the Fablemans.
Tar, written by Todd Field.
This is for original screenplay. Okay. That's where we are.
Triangle of Sadness,
Okay.
written by Ruben Östlund.
Triangle of Sadness.
Now, it's
Now-
with great pleasure that I get to announce this year's nominees for
This
Best
is a live action short film. Is
An
next.
Irish Goodbye.
An Irish Goodbye.
Ifalu,
Evayu.
Les Pupilles,
Evayu.
Night Ride,
All these are live action shorts.
and The Red Suitcase. Up now, the
Okay.
nominees for Best Animated Short Film.
Best animated short film.
The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the
The
Horse.
Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
The Flying Sailor.
The Flying Sailor.
Ice Merchants.
The Ice Merchants. This is for animated short film. Okay. My Year of Dicks. I didn't say that. Okay. That got a reaction from the audience. Animated short film. And the ostrich told me the world is fake, and I think I believe it. Boy. Okay.
No comment. Here are the
No comment. Allison says no comment. Actor, best actor, best. Ooh, Brendan Gleeson got nominated. Best supporting actor. Brian Tyree Henry, actor. Judge Hirsch. Barry Keoghan. And Ki Kwan. Remember from Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade? Ki Kwan just got nominated. And that was best supporting actor. So reactions for they are. So we can catch up right now. So we have, let's recap. We have the best actress in a supporting role. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see even better. But we have best actress in a supporting role, Angela Bassett, who marks the first Marvel movie actress. All right, the first Marvel movie actress to score in the nomination category for a major award, an acting award. All right. So we have, to recap for what's going on there in terms of actress, I'm going down here real quick before they get back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them off to you as I see them. Okay. Adapted screenplay. Let's go back to that. All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. Got all those, okay? So I've got those, all right? And then, okay, so you got all those, all right? So that's your best adapted screenplay, okay? So then, we will have the list. Yeah, here we go. This is for the best actress. Again, Angela Bassett, right here, Wakanda Forever. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see it better. Zoom in. And Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. See that? Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. Hong Chau for The Whale. And Stephanie Hsu for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I don't know, but this might mark the first time that two Asian women were selected for best. This is best supporting. Best supporting actress here. And so that's amazing. That's amazing. So we have Angela Bassett, African American, Jamie Curtis white, Carrie Condon, I believe white, and then Hong Chau and Stephanie Hsu, both Asian. Okay. It's an amazing achievement. And here we go. We're back now, folks. Okay.
We announced 9
So
categories coming up now for the final 14, including
the final 14 down the stretch. Original song is next. All right. Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. And we have Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. Huh. Lift Me Up for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Not to from RR. Yeah, This Is a Life from Everything, Everywhere, at Once. Wow, that movie is getting a lot of awards already. I can't wait to see the tally. Okay. Documentary features next. All That Breathes. And All the Beauty and Bloodshed. This is documentary feature film. Fire of Love.
A House Made of Splinters.
A House Made of Splinters. I mean, documentary feature film. Okay.
And here are the nominees for Best Documentary Short
This is
Film.
best documentary. All right, that was documentary film. Now we have best documentary short film. Okay. The Elephant Whisperers.
Call
The
Out.
Katie Gonzalez Howl Out.
How Do You Measure
And
a
then
Year?
How Do You Measure a Year by J. Rosenblatt.
The Martha Mitchell Effect.
And the Martha Mitchell Effect. Ooh, that sounds really good.
And Stranger at the Gate.
And Stranger at the Gate. This is a documentary short film. Okay.
Here are the nominees for Best International Feature.
Now we have Best International Feature Film.
All
Best-
Quiet on the Western
All
Front.
Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix there. Argentina, 1985. This is an international film.
Belgium.
Close. Made Belgium. And EO out of Poland.
And The Quiet Girl.
And The Quiet Girl out of Ireland. So
Here are the nominees for Best Animated Feature
we have,
Film.
this is Best Animated Feature Film nominees.
Guillermo del Toro's
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Congratulations to Guillermo. Woohoo.
Marcel
Marcel Deschamps with shoes on. Michelle Deschamps, excuse me, with shoes on. Puss in Boots, The Last Witch. The Sea Beast. And Turning Red.
Here are the nominees
These
for
were-
Achievement in Makeup.
So Achievement in Makeup next. Okay.
All Quiet on the Western
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Front.
The Batman. Well deserved. Yeah. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, even more well deserved.
Elvis.
Elvis. This is makeup and hairstyling. And then The Whale. Okay. So that was for makeup right there. That was for makeup. Good morning.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production.
This is production. This is production. Okay. Next.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front. Wow. Avatar, Way of the Water. It's the first mention for Avatar.
Babylon.
Babylon.
Elvis.
Elvis. This is production design.
And The Fablemans.
And The Fablemans.
The nominees for
These are
Achievement in Film
Achievement in
Editing
Film
are
Editing. Editing.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
This is editing. Next is The Banshees of Inisherin.
Elvis.
Elvis.
Everything,
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Tar.
Tar.
And Top Gun.
And Top Gun Maverick. That's film editing. Top Gun Mavericks.
Next up,
Right in
nominees
there.
for Achievement in Cinematography.
This is cinematography.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Bardo, False Chronicle, and
Bardo.
Truths.
This is cinematography now. Elvis.
Empire of Light,
And Empire of Light.
and Tar.
And Tar.
And now
Next.
Achievement in
Visual effects. Uh-oh.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All yes. All Quiet on the Western Front. Yes.
Avatar, The Way of Water.
Avatar, Way of Water. Expected.
The Batman.
The Batman. Yes.
Black Panther.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Woohoo.
And
And Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. Wow.
It's time for our final four awards.
Man.
Here are the nominees for
Act-
performance by
at
an
Best
in a
Actor?
leading role.
Here we go, folks.
Austin Butler. in
Austin
Elvis.
Butler in Elvis.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin.
Brendan Fraser.
And then Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser for The Whale. He gets a nomination for Best Actor. Paul Mescal, After Sun. And Bill Knight for Living.
And
Next.
now the 5 nominees for performance by an actress.
Best
in a leading role.
Actress.
Kate Blanchett. in
Yes,
Tar.
Kate Blanchett for Tar.
Anna de Armas.
Anna de Armas, blonde, where she was in recent James Bond movie, Andrea Rosborough to Leslie. No Time to Die. She was in No Time to Die. Michelle Williams in The Fablemans. And Michelle Yeoh. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Just two categories
Nice.
for me.
Nice.
Is achievement in directing.
Achievement in directing. Directing. This is the Best Picture precursor right here. The Banshees of Inisherin. Daniel, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Daniel Kwan. Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans. Tar. And Triangle of Sadness. Okay, so one of those will be Best Picture. Fablemans, perhaps? Interesting. Final. Best Picture. Best Picture. 10 nominees. Best Picture. Buckle up, folks. Here we go. Best Picture. Here we go. All Quiet on the Western Front. This is Best Picture, folks. Welcome. Avatar, The Way of Water. And congratulations to James Cameron. The Banshees of Inisherin. Wow. Elvis. Baz Luhrmann. We have Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. The Fablemans. Steven Spielberg. Biopic in a sense. Tar. Tar's come up quite a bit. Top Gun Maverick. Congratulations to Tom Cruise. Nice. Triangle of Sadness. Come on, Black Panther. Women Talking. Wow. No Black Panther.
This was such an honor and huge.
Wow, no Black Panther. Wow. No Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Wow. No Black. Let's see the action. No Black Panther. No Black Panther.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to watch the 95th Oscars live with host Jimmy
Wow.
Sunday, March 12th.
No Black Panther for Best Picture. Wow. So I'm going to go back over this. No Black Panther. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. No Black Panther Best Picture. I got to see what the reaction on that is. That's holy if it's holy. No Black Panther for Best Picture. Can you believe that? Let me, and I wonder what other people are saying about this, but I want to know what you're saying about it. No Black Panther for Best Picture. Okay. No Black Panther for Best Picture. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Excuse me. I just got so discombobulated from that outcome. I'm not shaking, but okay. And let's see here. Trying to get back to where we were here with the Oscars and what was going on here. So I will click that. And yeah, here we go. Oscar nominations right there. Let's click here. And the reactions, latest for the reactions that we can read, of course. Stephanie Sue is a Best Supporting Actress nominee. Congratulations to Stephanie. Best Picture Power Rankings are Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is number 1. Banshees of Inisherin number 2. Top Gun Maverick 3. All Quiet on the Western Front 4. And The Fablemans said to be 5. Okay, I'm still trying to wrap my head around no Black Panther. Okay. Those are Best Picture Power Rankings. Thank you, Matt. And let's see, cinematographer. Let's see here. The Whale in Babylon Miss. So big day for Banshees, All Quiet, Everything Everywhere, and Triangle of Sadness. The Fablemans has some weird misses talking about Best Picture. But for me, Black Panther is not here. All right. That's crazy. Let's see here. Pakistani film Joyland could not make it to the nominees for Oscars in the international film category. No joy for Joyland. So Zana got nominated. Nominees for Best Picture. Here's the list. All right, once again, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Fablemans, Tar, The Banshees of Inisherin, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Women Talking. Huh. And wow. No Black Panther. Well, interesting. Hey, no Black Panther, folks. There was no directing for Ryan Coogler. So looking at this is not the year that you're going to see a breakout African-American or African-American film mentioned in this area, let alone directing. However, you do see Angela Bassett representing Marvel and setting a record in that way. But my reactions aside, how about a hand for Riz Ahmed and Allison Williams? I mean, what a nice, smooth way that they did it. I really liked it. The only thing that I miss about the Oscars in the nomination presentation is in the days when I was covering the Night of Wonder Stars Oscar party and got up for the nominations, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences had this bombastic presentation music for the nominations. I have to ask them if it's possible to bring that back because it was a great announcement. It goes dun 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 dun, dun. You know, and that's the way it ought to be. I mean, this is a big deal. When I'm in this era, everybody has to be quiet about everything and understated, passive aggressive. We're in the passive aggressive era. All right, enough of me about that. Look at these. Let me zoom in on this so you can get a better look at this. All right, Best Picture. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking. Which one do I think will win? Well, my emotional favorite would be Top Gun: Maverick. I'm a Tom Cruise fan, love the movie. That's my style, right? That's in that category. But the one that I think will win more than anything is, I think it's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's going to be the movie that really hits it. It's really hit all the marks in terms of nominations, and I'll go and get to the tallies in a bit. But let's go through and see what the other reactions are on Twitter regarding this. Let's see here. The actor in a supporting role, Brendan Gleeson was a favorite. Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. African American, by the way. So congratulations to Brian Tyree Henry. So if you're taking a look at how we did in terms of awards, it wasn't a washout by any means when you have Brian Tyree Henry and then Angela Bassett. Causeway is on Apple. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I don't get Apple, and even though they have great movies, but hopefully it will find its way to another app channel so that it can get a wider audience, or perhaps even be shown in a theater in case, unless of course it was and I missed it. But then there's Judd Hirsch, the famous Judd Hirsch is an actor of note and fame, and Barry Keoghan for the Banshees of Inisherin is also here. Key and there's Ke Huy Quan. Ke Huy Quan is my other favorite because I remember when he was what 9 years old, and he was in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade with Dr. Jones. You know, as he called Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones. And then he got a Golden Globe for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and really lit up the place, the attendees of the Golden Globes, with his story of thinking that, hey, that appearance in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade was going to be his only hurrah, and it wasn't. Here he is, and he may very well take home the Oscar on Oscar Sunday. Exciting stuff. Congratulations to Mr. Kwan and his lovely wife. And so it's great to see someone grow up like that and achieve their dreams, right? That's fun stuff, without question. Godfather says, going back to sleep, and Angela Bassett gave a great performance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Colin didn't get nominated for Banshees up in the shine. He was the favorite. I think you're absolutely right about that. And then he says, I meant Banshees of Inisherin, right? Hey, hold on a second, Joseph. I don't know if you're still there. I want to be cool to get your reaction if you're able to talk. Since you chimed in. So there we go. Joseph. Hey, Joseph, I didn't catch you before you went back to sleep. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you have a chance to see the whole nominations? I want to know what you thought of what you saw, even if you didn't see the whole thing.
I did see the whole thing.
That's awesome. Hey, folks, this is...
Ironically, I woke up, I fell asleep. Well, over here, it's 5 in the morning, but
right.
I fell asleep around 12, and I just happened to wake up at around 5. But, I still need my 8 hours of going back to sleep.
Hey, folks, this is Joseph Amanduras. He's one of our great vloggers in Zennie62 Media. And Joseph, what stood out for you about the nominations this time?
Personally, there's always a couple hit and misses for me personally. What I was surprised about, because I think Brendan Gleeson got nominated for Banshees of Inisherin,
right?
And I'm kind of surprised that Colin, I'm just forgetting his last name, even though
Colin Farrell.
Yes,
yeah.
Colin Farrell did not get a nod, and I thought he was just equally as great as Brendan Gleeson. So that's one surprise, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I could have swore I didn't see him nominated.
No, well, you didn't see him. I think he was nominated, I believe, in supporting, because I'm looking at actor.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, not supporting. I'm looking at supporting and staring right in the face. But I mean, actor. I need to double check that as I go down. And let's nominees for short film. And I will get to the actor here. And I think while I'm looking for that, what stood out to me is that, and I'm shocked, Black Panther did not get a Best Picture nomination. I didn't see the film, okay? But I almost expected it to hit that mark, and it's disappointing. Now, we're talking about Colin Farrell, actor in a leading role, and it's actually also on the screen here. He did get nominated for Best. Yeah.
Okay.
But guess who?
I didn't hear that. I could give you my quick thoughts on Black Panther.
Brendan Fraser's list,
which I did see that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please.
I think Angela Bassett did a supreme job, and you could see the emotion on this woman's face as if she was really, the Black Panther's mother. The down part for me was, I don't think it was as good as the first one. And I think maybe that's the reason why I did get nominated. Now, having said that, it's hard to replicate something when your leading man, Chadwick Boseman, had passed away.
Yeah.
And he really held that movie together. I really, really loved the first Black Panther. I like Black Panther too, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't surprised I didn't get nominated for Best Film.
Yeah, I have to say it. Black Panther made me cry twice.
The original one.
Yeah, and I can't put my finger on it, you know, but it's just at the credits when the Kendrick Lamar song comes up and the tears started rolling, and I think it had to do with the joy of actually seeing a well done black film with a story that connected, you know, and not that when I say well done black film, I mean top budget, multi-million dollar marketing effort, everything all there to say this is a movie you must see. You know what I mean? As
Right.
opposed to, okay, we're giving it its due because it's black. It's not, well, that's more than that. You got special effects, you got actors, you got, that's, to me, that was an amazing marker of social achievement, on top of the fact that it was just a damn good film, right?
It was a very good film. Now, you know, and I gotta just reiterate that Black Panther 2 was a very good film. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just biased because I really, really love Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a quick note. I've always been biased because I met him personally when he did the Jackie Robinson movie, and at that time I was season ticket holder at Dodger Stadium.
Oh wow!
And I happened to be going through the owner's entrance, and I met him there, and he even signed one of my posters of 42.
Oh, well, did he think you owned the Dodgers? I'm just kidding.
No. You know, I was, you know, a few years ago, I was more of a mover and a shaker. I ended up places I probably shouldn't have been, but
Joseph was on the water board for a local city there, so yeah. But,
and so he was a very kind man. You know who I was disappointed with, because I also met Jackie Robinson's wife.
Oh,
and both her and Chadwick were extremely courteous, kind, and I was always a little disappointed that Harrison Ford kind of gave me like a, you know, like don't bother me, kid type of attitude. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? It's neither here or there, but you know, that's something that always stood out to me.
That's too bad. I met Chadwick Boseman at San Diego Comic-Con briefly, and what happened was I was at Nobu. If anyone's ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, Nobu is like the go-to place for celebrity spotting and good food and good cocktails. And so I was there, and these women, two gorgeous women, came up and sat down, started talking. And to make a long story short regarding the conversation, they wanted to know if I could get them into an Oscar party. And because I said, well, hey, I'm pressed. Let's try, right? And went to the Entertainment Tonight party, but unfortunately, we got as far as the door, even though we got into the hotel and up to the 5th floor. This is at the Hard Rock Hotel in San Diego. And so as we're waiting, because the very nice security guy was saying, well, hey, I'll let you in once some people clear out, right? I thought, that's cool. Okay. Which we're kind of taking bets on whether that's actually going to happen. But Chadwick Boseman came out. And so we were able to meet him right then and there. I mean, it was a small area. It wasn't where he could turn left or right and walk past you and say nothing. He was literally in our face. Gracious man.
Right.
And as you just said, and a great loss to America and American culture.
Yeah, I felt, you know, even if you met him briefly, you know, he shook my hand, he talked to me. And this is before he blew up. You know, this is when he did 42. But I saw what a spectacular actor I thought he was. And being a big Dodger fan, I thought he nailed Jackie Robinson to a T. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when he passed, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. And it's just that's the impact he had, I think, in everybody's lives.
Yeah. And
having said that, you know, Black Panther 2 was such... There's aspects of that film that's very emotional. Mm-hmm. And maybe I just didn't want to go that route because, like I said, it hurt when he passed because I felt like, you know, I met him. He was a nice man. And it's like, it's so unfortunate that something like this happens to somebody so young.
And also so gracious, you know, because you talked about it before. There's some actors and actresses that quote think that they're all that and they can treat you a certain way, unquote, right? And then so it makes it so much better when you meet people who are not that way. Hey, wanted to ask you about nominees for directing. You've got The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I think is going to take it. The Fablemans, which I'd like to see because I'm a Steven Spielberg fan, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. But again, of these, to me, from a perspective of talking about, and I think that rightfully so, diversity is commonly the subject now. It seems like Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have no idea what it's about. Do you?
Yeah, it's a very stylistic. It's hard to explain. I personally didn't care for it that much, but I could see why people liked it. It goes through this woman who is a hard working woman that owns a laundromat, and she's just so fed up with her life. And long story short, there's supposed to be some like alien, without being aliens, taking over people's bodies, and she goes through these scenarios of she's like a kung fu master in one, and then she's meek in another, and it's like different stories and sub stories within a structure of a movie. Now, for whatever reason, it just gained so much popularity. And a lot of times, as you probably know, it becomes trend.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much that people watched the movie or liked the movie. And if you heard some of the misgivings of the Oscar voters, a lot of times will just pick something because everybody said it's popular and it's good, and they haven't watched the movies themselves.
Yeah.
So, but if you have Showtime, that's playing, I believe, on Showtime on a regular basis, or you can look it up on demand.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. You want to check that out. Also noting, directing, folks, precursor statistics, the best director 70% of the time gets Best Picture. So having said that, there's a 70% chance the Best Picture will come out of this list that we're talking about here. But having said that, do you think Everything Everywhere All at Once are the Fablemans? I think it's going to be one of those two. What do you think?
I think the Fablemans. I saw the Fablemans.
Oh.
And, I actually saw that in theater. And
good movie?
Here's why I think it'll win.
Wow.
Here's why I think it'll win. Or it very possibly could win. Now, like I said, Everything Everywhere All at Once seems to be on trend and so like popular. Wouldn't be surprised if that one. But Fablemans was a personal love letter to himself, Steven Spielberg. Now, when I saw that, I took my nephew with him, and he's a bright kid, and I was telling him, when I saw that, Steven Spielberg basically wrote and directed this movie, there were many scenes in this movie that to me were repetitive, and I thought, well, this movie could have been edited down about a half hour. But the more I thought about it, and this is even before I heard a recent interview at the Golden Globes or the SAG Awards with Steven Spielberg winning one of those awards, is that I told my nephew, I heard that it has a lot to do with his childhood. And I told my nephew that I bet this movie was so cathartic for Spielberg. And I go, that's why he kept every scene in there the way he did and didn't edit some of it out. Because if you watch the movie, there's pieces in there where there's a repetitive dinner sequences that are kind of similar but different. But it kind of, there's a theme there that you're building up. And I thought, some of that could have been edited out. But when I saw him win an award, he did say that this was one of the hardest movies he ever did. And he went on to say that every movie he has done is a reflection of the Fablemans. And he mentioned E.T. And I think a lot of it has to do with being a fish out of water. Because the Fableman is this kid whose parents are struggling. They move from state to state, and they move to a very waspy area. And this kid's Jewish. And he gets beaten every so often because he's the Jewish kid.
Oh, wow.
And so, again, it's a fish out of water type of movie. And it's triumphant, it's sad, it's cathartic. And so once people see it and understand that, especially now that he's admitted that this is probably the hardest movie he's ever had to do because he had to come to grips. And he even said, if I don't do it now at 75, I'm never going to do this movie.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I have to ask because I got the impression in the trailers there was anybody black in it. And the reason was it?
I don't recall that.
Yeah. And the reason that was a big deal for me has to do with you know, growing up, it has to do with showing a film. Let me just be more blunt about it. It's like, hey, Mr. Spielberg, you grew up in America. There are black folks around. Is this your way of saying you didn't see them? You know?
Yeah.
Because that happens to me. I was talking to my mom about, because I'm here, you know, helping my mom out, about that the other night where I was at, for example, the one of the first vlogger conventions ever held in San Francisco. And out of the 300 people that were there, 6 were black, including myself. And it seemed like there were people who, when they took a picture and I was in the background, they would sort of struggle to make sure I wasn't in the picture. Now, that wasn't always the case. I was interviewed by somebody there, which is now on Zennie62 on YouTube and all that. But in my life, where I've had the pleasure of being one of the few of us in a room, or the curse, or the statement that what's wrong with society, because really it shouldn't be that way at all, right? I've always noticed that. And so racism, to a degree, is represented in film by not being seen. I mean, that's really the discussion. You know, it's how many folks are there, but also it's given rise to the saying, do you see us, right? Or I see you, you know, which I personally find kind of annoying, but I understand by the fact that I'm talking about where it comes from. And to me, this movie says, and I have to see it for myself to make sure, but it says he doesn't really see us. And now he would say, I made the color purple. But even then, and great he did, but the criticism there was that it was almost a celebratory and stylized view of an awful time in African American history. So there are a lot of ways you can cut that. I think it was a celebration of the empowerment of women, but you know, my point is, bravo for Steven Spielberg for going there and making the color purple. I liked the color purple, but in general, when you look at Steven's films, there is this question of race, and I hate to put it out there like that because I know. I mean, look, we were around as black folks, okay? And it's nice to have movies that really present that. Even like my mother was saying, we were having a conversation about medieval movies because she says, I never look at a movie that doesn't have, or anything that doesn't have someone black in it. But I said, Mom, you do like these period pieces. And she says, well, we weren't around then. And I said, actually, that's not true. We were. But see, Joseph, that's how our history, doesn't matter. Let me take the statement I'm making and broaden it to Latino or Asian or anybody else, gets distorted because we have one group of people making it who are white, who don't feel the need to see you, then the result is, well, what we're talking about. You know, in other words, history is not accurately told, even if it's fiction. And in this case, The Fabelmans is arguably work of fiction, but since it's Stevens presenting his life, you would think he would have enough care for the concern about being seen to say, yeah, I do remember somebody black back then. I'll bet you if we sat him down and asked him, I bet you he would remember somebody, you know?
Right.
That's what bothers me, you know, but I'll see it. I like Steven Spielberg. I'll see it anyway.
And you know, and two, the more that I think about is, well, it didn't get into his college years, but what a lot of people don't know, he went to my university. He went to California State University, Long Beach, where he went to film school there. He didn't finish graduating, but he won't even acknowledge that he went to that school.
Really? Why?
You know,
I thought he also went to USC, or maybe I was.
Well, he always tries to, you know, like I said, it's a Hollywood game. He likes to associate himself with USC. And so I always found that ironic.
I didn't know that until now.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with, but what you had just said is probably even more reason now that you said that Black Panther should have been nominated, because it's not a horrible picture. Don't get me wrong. I just have a bias for the first one because I was a huge Chadwick Boseman fan. But yeah, you're right. It might have been slighted. You know what? And that's how white Hollywood is. Oh, we gave Angela Bassett a nod, so that's enough.
Like a gift, yeah.
I mean?
Right. But even though
and the one thing that you just pointed out, which is beautiful about Black Panther, 95 or 99% of the cast were Black and brown people.
Yeah.
And that is such a beautiful thing, because I didn't go in there saying, well, me personally, you know, because everybody's different. You know, I can see your perspective and how important it is to have strong Black characters, but I could say the same thing about brown people too. But
yeah,
besides that, it was just a good movie.
Yeah, it was. And I want to be clear also, when I was talking about Spielberg, I'm not saying that the actors in his movie have to be Black. I'm saying that if you're going to depict American life, but you're not going to have any of the extras Black, and this is an urban society, right? I find that
it gives credo to the fact that, see, you guys weren't around back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because it's when people say, well, you know, you guys came over the border. No, the border came over us.
Yeah.
Panthers were already here.
Right.
White men, you know, you came across an ocean
right.
to get here.
Well, it's like, see, to me, when I think of Latinos in Hollywood, the first person that comes to mind for me is Desi Arnaz. You know, and the second, my point is that I've always been aware of Latinos in Hollywood and expect to see them in films. And I think the reality of how we live America, Joseph, still hasn't been told. That movie that depicts the past, say in New York or someplace else, or Oakland or Chicago or wherever, where you know that if you stepped on that street, you'd see a combination of people. Maybe mostly white, maybe 60, 70%. Okay. But you would see a combination of people, including folks that look like you and me, right? But when you go to casting, like I've looked for casting calls in the past and still might today, but sometimes they quote unquote call for white actors, you know, or just all Black actors, whatever. But mostly it's been white actors, and that which has changed. But I do think that, to close this thought so I don't get too far down in the weeds about it, because I want to talk about the films in general, I do think that it's really important to have that discussion regarding how the movie looks versus what reality looks like. Hey, what do you think about Tom Cruise getting all these nominations for Top Gun Maverick? I love Top Gun Maverick myself. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, well, yes, I did. I thought it was a good movie. You know, I'm always real nitpicky. The story was a little weak for me, but overall, that's neither here or there. The emotional impact of that movie and what you saw on the screen is what you want to refer to as a real Hollywood movie. Yeah,
it was a real Hollywood movie. It definitely was. And the airplane fight scenes and the cinematography and everything were just incredible. Even though I don't know they got nominated for cinematography, I'm going for Best Picture here. Oh, and then Best Visual Effects. You have All Quiet on the Western Front, which I haven't seen. I'm actually dying to see that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that myself, so I was curious. I was like, I'm always thinking of All Quiet on the Western Front as the original.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We have Avatar, which I haven't seen yet. The Batman, which I've seen. And I have you seen the Batman?
I did.
What'd you think?
I really like that movie. I love the dark detective aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it harkens back to the Dark Knight comic book series, where it's year 1 or year 2 of the origins of Batman, which I appreciated. And so they took a page, I think, out of Todd Phillips' The Joker, in the sense that they make all these characters very comic-y, like the Joker being like just, with painted face. Not to say that further incarnations of the Joker won't be all comical, but the illusion of these characters are deep-rooted in these psychological characters, deep psychologically disturbed characters. And I think there's a lot that you could explore with those type of movies. And I thought Batman really delved into that, as well as, the overall feel of what we think Batman should be.
Yeah. Then we have Black Panther for best visual effects and Top Gun Maverick. That's a tough field, man. That's a tough one. I don't know. I have a feeling Avatar is going to come away with it. Even though I haven't seen Avatar, but have you seen it?
I did.
Liked it?
It's the popular vote. It's great achievements in terms of what they're doing. It's one of those movies that takes probably a year and a half just to do post-production.
Yeah.
Because everything is basically based on post-production, computer graphics and things of that nature. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes that for special effects. Top Gun is great too, but I think a lot of the flying was organic. Of course, you can't replicate everything, but they have their Top Gun pilots going over and shooting some of the scenes, and then you have Tom Cruise and a lot of the other pilots in a studio, in just the cabin of the fighters. But there are rumors that, as adventurous as Tom Cruise is, I believe he actually went in with one of the fighters and actually filmed while he was in the plane. So
wow,
that's this guy does some crazy stunts at his age.
Yeah, he sure does, man. I'm like, wow. Okay, so Variety just a minute ago, Women in Film Los Angeles says, once again, Academy voters have shown they don't value women's voices, shutting out the Best Director nominations, says Women in Film Los Angeles. And no women were announced for Best Director at this year's Oscars nomination announcements. What do you think about that?
Well, I want to know what movies were made by female directors.
That's a great question. Yeah, because I'm looking at this, and one of the reactions is to Varieties. This is just coming up because Variety just posted this seconds ago. It just says so women should be nominated for Oscars just because they're women. Yeah, that sounds super fair and not gendered at all. And then and this person says crying in the corner was 300 people voting, not 10. And let's see here. We've got actually more than that. Let me open up. The hashtag now is Oscars So Male. And Sarah Polly, Gina Prince, Blythewood, and Maria Schrader, and Charlotte Wells, Oscars Variety says, are some of the snubs in Best Director. And the article goes on to read that the Oscars failed to nominate any women in the category. And as I said, of course, and then it goes on to explain. I'm looking for the shorter version rather than reading the whole thing. It says the Academy Award nominations announced on Tuesday did not include women filmmakers such as Sarah Polley for Women Talking, Gina Prince Blythewood for The Woman King, Maria Schrader for She Said, and Charlotte Wells for After Sun in the Best Director lineup. Women have won the category in the past 2 years in a row, with Chloe Zhao taking home the 2021 prize for Nomadland, and James Champion scoring last year for The Power of the Dog. Now I have to say one thing. I don't care if the director was male or female. Those were some damn good films. I enjoy both Nomadland. I don't know if you saw that, Joseph, and Power of the Dog. But
I've seen Power of the Dog, but I think Power of the Dog came out last year, so I think it would be nominated. Oh, well, let me correct myself. What year was Power of the Dog?
I think it was actually the Power of the Dog was the year before that.
Yeah,
that was 2000. That was 2019.
Oh wow.
Yeah, okay. 2019, and no, yeah, it said Jane Champion scored last year for Power of the Dog. So last year would have been for 2020 because would have been for 2022. So I stand corrected. Power of the Dog was 2021. And I did see that. That was with Seth Rogen, and that was a movie I meant to see again. I love that movie. Nomadland was a movie about the plight of people who lost their jobs and their livelihood due to industrial change in Utah, and really had to go in an RV and find a new life in America. It was very heart-wrenching. Very good film. So that movie should have had a Best Director nod, regardless of gender. Okay, and I think what do you think?
Well, and I was going to talk about two other movies that you had mentioned. One of them, did you say was No Women Talking?
Yeah, yes,
okay,
called Women Talking.
Let me ask you this. I believe, if I'm correct, is that the movie that I think Jessica Lange's in, or one of those actresses?
Let me check real quick by checking on the cast.
The only reason why I asked, if I think it's a movie that I think it is, I can tell you why I believe it wasn't nominated.
It was the cast: Claire Foy, Jessica Buckley, Rooney Mara, Frances McDormand, Ben Whishaw.
Frances McDormand. Okay, that is. For some reason, sometimes facially, I always confuse her sometimes with the way Jessica Lange looks now.
Mm-hmm.
So that I did see the commercial for that, and I think just a lot of people are unaware of that movie. Now, having said that, these are industry insiders that probably should be aware of the movie, but it didn't get a lot of attention. Now, I'm seeing the movie now, and as you know, that a lot of these movies, I don't know if it got a special release date to be nominated for an Oscar, because as you know, there's criteria that it has to be released by a certain time to get nominated for the upcoming Oscars.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things. But not having seen the movie, I can't really talk about it. Now, I know that The Woman King, a lot of people, I haven't seen that. A lot of people said it was a great movie. And I'm wondering
I've heard that.
Just kind of got hidden in the shadow of Black Panther 2.
That's interesting. I think Women Talking and director Sarah Polley, it's said to be about, and I remember Sarah when she was a young actress, who was known for Go. So I remember her being in Go. Go was one of my favorite movies. That was Doug Lyman's first hit movie. Did you ever see Go?
I don't believe so.
Oh, Go is a sweet piece of movie. I'll just put it that way. Go is a sweet piece of movie. But Sarah Polley has grown up from that to direct Women Talking. It's about, it goes do nothing, stay and fight, or leave. In 2010, the women of an isolated religious community grapple with reconciling a brutal reality with their fate, which is something that it's something I'd like to see. It just sounds like a doggone good movie. But when you look at budgets, and also there's something else, because a lot of Hollywood, as you know, is political. I used to, and I'm going to start again, be in these Oscar pools, and I was at one. My friend Beth's friend, wherever we were doing, her parties. I won the Oscar pool 4 straight years in a row. Never, and this is for money. So everybody's putting like $8 in, right? So I walked away with $400. It became an annual thing. People got tired of it. But the reason I won was because I always bet the politics. I always bet the precursors. And yet the common reaction is, well, Zennie, did you see that movie? No. I just read the politics around it. I just like, and that's how I would bet. And the point I'm making is that there's another factor that was brought up. It's marketing budget, specifically for the awards season. And, I know it's a bad name to bring up, but facts are facts. For all the other stuff that he has done, Harvey Weinstein was an outstanding marketer of his films for Miramax for the Oscars. They spent upwards of $12 to $15 million marketing their films. And so if you don't have that marketing budget set aside, and I don't know if that was the case for these, I'm sure they had a marketing budget, but if it wasn't enough or a lot, then you're not going to get seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now that's a sad statement, but I do think it kind of points to where we're going into in terms of looking at the situation. The situation to me now is, how do you get more money, financing and otherwise, to films by people of color, regardless of their color, so that they stand a better chance of not just getting made, but getting made well and getting the awards that they deserve. That's the question. There's only so much money to go around. And I know that brings up a lot of thorny issues, but look, that's what's on the table. This article goes on to say that 8 women have been nominated for directors in Oscar history, producing only 3 winners: Catherine Bigelow for The Hurt Locker in 2009, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland in 2020, and Jane Champion for The Power of the Dog in 2021. The other nominated women have included Lena Wertmüller for Seven Beauties in 1976, Campion for The Piano in 1993, Sofia Coppola for Lost in Translation in 2023, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird in 2017, and Emerald Fennelly for Promising Young Woman in 2020. And it goes on to read that though no woman was recognized for directing, Polly's critical acclaim for Women Talking, an adaptation of the novel by Miriam Toews, was among the 10 nominated movies for Best Picture. So there you go. And bravo to Sarah Polley. Wow, what a talent! You got to see Go, man. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah. So
one of my
go ahead.
favorite female directors, and this is going back to the mid-90s. One of my favorite movies to this day is Nora Ephron's "You've Got Mail" with Tom Hanks and Ryan. Yeah. She also did Sleepless in Seattle. She did that movie Michael with John Travolta playing a fallen angel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, she's done a lot of great work. Unfortunately, she's passed away, but Nora Ephron's always been. I love that style of directing, because if you see You've Got Mail, for the exception of the technology that they're using in that movie, it's a movie that's so relatable even today. And I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that movie.
I did not. You're giving me something. Give me homework to do.
And a young Dave Chappelle's in that movie.
Is that? I definitely got to see it. Jared Weiselman of Netflix says Everything Everywhere All at Once was released in March of 2022, far from the typical Oscar qualifying window. A24 had to find, he writes, ways to keep that beautiful film in the conversation on people's minds for nearly a full year. Now it's the year's most nominated film, no small feat, which gets me to the tallies here. See if there's okay. The most nominated films at the Oscars were Everything, Everywhere, All at Once received 11 nominations. All Quiet on the Western Front received 9. The Banshees of Inisherin 9. Elvis 8. The Fabelmans 7. Tar 6. Top Gun Maverick 6. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever 5. So those are the most nominated films at the Oscars. What do you think?
There's a lot of good movies in there. I don't know if you ever seen Elvis. Did you happen to see Elvis?
I haven't seen I see of all of these. The only one that I've seen is Top Gun Maverick, and that's because it was here on HBO Max, and so I was able to see it.
Or I think that was on Paramount Plus.
I'm sorry, Paramount Plus. Yeah, I have Paramount Plus. I'm getting them mixed up, right?
Yeah, there's so many of them.
I know, and my mom is right. You spend like $6 a month here, $6 a month there. You got to make sure it doesn't add up to $60 a month. It's kind of like, oh, it's ridiculous. But the one that I really, really want to see, the ones that I want to see next, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is one I want to see next. The Fabelmans, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then Elvis and the Banshees of Inisherin.
One thing I could say with Elvis, I was so skeptical going into watching this movie, because Baz Luhrmann has a very stylized way of presenting a movie. But
his way that's an acquired taste.
Yeah, but you know what? In actuality, it worked. I was very pleasantly surprised how well it worked. And the one thing with Austin Butler, I never thought going into this movie, why I go, this guy really doesn't look like Elvis. But his acting performance, you forget about that when you're watching this movie. So, kudos to him for that movie. So I thought that worked really well. Now, one thing for you, Wakanda Forever is going to be in Disney Plus, I think, at the end of this month or beginning early next month.
Oh, good. So I got Disney. I've got Disney. I've got Disney Plus is what I was going to say. If you're watching the live stream, folks, you're wondering why I got up. It's because I'm going over and I've got Joseph on the phone. I'm bringing the phone with me to pour myself a cup of coffee while we talk about this. Hey, Joseph, how you? I can let you go back to sleep, but I appreciate you doing this because I've always wanted to have this kind of conversation. I should plan these earlier and get a sponsor and all that stuff that we talk about. But because what you can do with technology today is just amazing. It's path breaking. I just had to be careful. I didn't broadcast the actual Oscar nominations because YouTube has been so dastardly tight on matters of copyright, like even picking up the sound from a broadcast, right? And so I didn't want to even go in that direction. Not even. Right. I even told Richard Hake went to the Plank in Jack London Square to watch the Niners Cowboys game, and he was did this normally really cool vlog, but I had to take it down. It was a live vlog because he periodically pointed to the screen in the football action, and then he zoomed in on it. And even if it was just for a few seconds, once for like 2 seconds, fine, but 6 times for like 3 seconds each, sometimes more, it was like, oh no, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, folks, if you're wondering why I didn't show the nominations, but this is great to be able to have this medium to talk about what we saw. And so,
plus you had the computer there, so you could always get visuals.
Yeah, exactly. We've got it's great to have these. It says GQ magazine writes Brendan Fraser is nominated for his first Academy Award for Best Actor, and he wrote, "Once a leading man, always a leading man. Read his GQ cover story about how he made it all the way back."
And I heard that movie's really, really good, The Whale. I just haven't had a chance to see it yet. I know that it can be a very dark or depressing movie, but I think...
What's it about? He's wearing a cowboy hat, apparently.
Well, most of the scene is that this man who plays the whale, Brendan Fraser, is an invalid. He's in a wheelchair, an obese man who's trying to win back the love of his daughter.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a poignant story. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh. And is it set in West Texas or something? He has a cowboy look or something, like a modern...
That I'm not 100% sure. I just know like the brief synopsis of the movie, but I heard that his performance is incredible. So I don't know. I don't think was he nominated at all, or was
he was nominated. Brendan Fraser was nominated Best Actor.
Okay. Yeah, because I think in one of the earlier, maybe non-important, like the Globe. Oh, well, this is the thing, is that, with the controversy the Globe had with not incorporating people of color for the acceptance of this year, right? They went way out of the way to do that.
Oh,
he was very critical of the Globe, the Golden Globe Awards, I should say, that they purposely kept them out of the nominations.
What did you think?
But that just tells you what a Mickey Mouse organization that is. The Golden Globes. The hit on the Golden Globes is a small conglomerate of foreign press that I think doesn't exceed more than like 20 people, and they call the shots.
Right. Yeah, I tried to get a credential
it's
to
a
that.
money-making opportunity when they host their Golden Globe Awards.
Yeah, I tried to get a credential to that about 10 years ago, and they treated me like I was gumshoe. And I thought, I'm not even going to try that again, because I did actually make a blog reference to their race problems, not a vlog one. I don't believe I did. I may have. 21,000 videos. You don't remember every single one all the time. But
now, did you happen to see the Golden Globes this year?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same question. Yes, I saw it. I enjoyed it. I didn't like the host's presentation. And the reason I didn't was because, look, we know the problems. We know what the Hollywood Foreign Press has went through. But I felt personally at this time, and I know my view is not the popular one, but whatever, that it's time to move on. I mean, first of all, he's up there, and when you're given that huge platform, you can use it for good or for ill. And I felt like he came in and he left the downer for everybody. He didn't leave anything that a person could say, God, that was something I need to really remember that will change my view of society, right? To make things better. Because we know
the take I had for him, because he
what do you think about it?
Special, and this is before he came out, is just extraordinary. His one-on-one. This is going back probably last summer. He's on the come up, and I think when they asked him to do this, I think he was so boldly trying to make a statement, and at the same time, I think he was super nervous. Now, the one line he said that I thought was funny and he got away with was, he did say, well, the only reason why I'm up here is because I'm black.
Yeah.
But that was a swipe at the Golden Globe.
That was funny. I thought he could have, but I thought he could have done it in a way where he made people feel good about the fact that the Hollywood Foreign Press was making a big effort to recast itself. Because when you are taken off television, and let's face it, that's what happened with NBC. They said, hey, look, we don't want to deal with you. That costs you money. Okay.
Yeah.
That really does. And so, I mean, they definitely hit him in the pocketbook, and deservedly so. But you want to also send the mark that, hey, look, we're making the changes, we're coming back, and we want you to watch us again next year. It's like, as much as people want to blast Will Smith for clocking, Chris Rock, I'll tell you what, here's why I thought that was staged. And we never had a chance to talk about that, but I thought it was staged because at the time Will Smith did what he did, the Oscar ratings were in the tank. Okay, they were in the tank, and so now people will tune in yet again because they remember that Jimmy Kimmel is on, and certainly he's going to mention it. And he did a fantastic job. Jimmy Kimmel did the time that they had the mix up with the envelope with Moonlight, and it turned out that there was a mix up where Moonlight was actually the Best Picture winner. But Jimmy Kimmel handled that whole episode where Warren Beatty was given the wrong envelope beautifully. I felt sorry for poor Warren and there, but Jimmy Kimmel just he handled that well. And not only that, the opening number for that Academy Awards, I believe, was 2019, and also featured Ryan Gosling from La La Land. That was a lot of fun, That was a lot of fun. Anyway, I know you got to get some sleep here. You have any other thoughts before I let you go back to sleep?
No, I think we kind of summed it up pretty well. I'm sure more thoughts will come along later on, but yeah, I mean, the one thing quick about La La Land, that's another movie that.
Oh, I would say you don't have to go back to sleep. I'm happy to talk about this.
When you see the landscape of Los Angeles, I didn't see predominantly any black and brown people. So it gives the impression that we live in a very waspy Los Angeles.
Which is anything but, right? I mean, my gosh.
Except, and that was the other hit on that TV. I never watched this show, but the other hit of that TV show, Friends, is that you're in New York City and you never saw any people of color in that.
That's true. Yeah, you didn't. You're right. Let's see what the main thoughts are about the Oscars from Twitter before we exit out of here. Mira Chopra, who's actor and storyteller, says, extremely happy for all that breathes the Elephant Whispers and Oscar nominations. And then R&R is Not to officially nominated for original song category. And let's see here. Viola Davis should have been nominated for Best Actress for acting The Woman King, it says here. I have to see The Woman King. And The Whale, so I know that's in another language I don't know, so I'll just pass that by. Let's see here. Somebody has a clip of Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park. Tamlin documentary, The Elephant Whisperers, directed by Earth Spectrum, bagged the nomination. And documentary short subject, it says here. Still flimming through here. And says here, while my Indians are celebrating Not to, I'm heavily having a teary eye seeing The Elephant Whisperers being nominated. This one is such a soulful documentary, and I hope it wins. This person writes, Netflix India, you got to celebrate this as well. Come on now. Joseph, this is pointing out here, that's true. Tom Cruise didn't get nominated for actor, but he did get nominated for producer for Top Gun Maverick and Best Picture. Yeah. I don't know that Tom Cruise's acting was bad, but it didn't have that scene that made you say, okay, Best Actor, right?
Right.
It wasn't that film, And
it's not that kind of movie.
No, It isn't. It isn't. And God, thanks for doing this, man. I've forgotten how much I love film.
Yeah, I mean, it's film like even with Spielberg's Fableman, it could be cathartic, it could be enjoyment, it could be escapism, it could be all of those things.
Yeah.
And that's the wonderment of film,
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. No one could have. And you just said the wonderment of film. And now I've got to see everything everywhere all at once. And figure out.
Like I said, if you have Showtime, it should be on Showtime, I believe.
Oh, by the way, have you seen? This is not nominated. Obviously, it didn't hit the mark. Oh, by the way, actor in leading role to recap: Austin Butler, Colin Farrell for the Banshees, Austin Butler for Elvis, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Leavens. And then we've got actress in a leading role: Kate Blanchett, Ana de Armas, James Bond, Andrea Riseborough, Michelle Williams, and Michelle Yeoh. And then, of course, do you remember Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans? How about that? Judd Hirsch from Taxi, right?
Yeah, he was in Taxi, and I think currently he's in The Goldbergs.
Yeah, Judd Hirsch, believe it or not, is a man that I met when I was a freshman at the University of Texas at Arlington. And he was for my season, first speaker at something called the Forums Council. And the Forums Council actually is a pretty good format to replicate for Zennie62, because what we did was we had a famous person come and give a speech, right? We had Leonard Nimoy one year, which is how I met Leonard Nimoy. But Judd Hirsch, which is memorable in itself. But Judge Hirsch I really love because he and we had a tradition of taking our guests to dinner, right? And we take them to the Black Eyed Pea, which is this great Southern restaurant in those days. This was specifically 1981. And we took them to Black Eyed Pea. And he and I talked about urban planning for a good half an hour. Just jabbing. That was a heck of a lot of fun. And I tried to keep in touch with him. Well, he gave me his way to do it, and I didn't follow up like I should have, but I should reach out to him yet again. He might remember. You never know, you know?
Yeah, it's jog his memory.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever number he gave you doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, right.
You know, which it always reminds me of, like, when I worked at a radio station. I met so many celebrities and music artists, and a lot of times I have their phone numbers, but I go, what am I going to call? You know, why am I going to bother them and say, hey, how's it going? You know, it's like, you know, these are like world-renowned artists and actors. Like, what am I going to say? Hey, what are you doing? You know, it's like, now I have something poignant that's related to the industry. I mean, what am I going to do with that number? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the one thing that stands out for me about all this is how much I enjoy meeting people covering the night of 100 Stars Oscar party from 2010 to 2016. And that was a heck of a lot of fun. I remember we used to have it at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It later moved to the Beverly Hilton. Unfortunately, now it's no longer. But I met, because I didn't know, I don't know if I ever told anybody about this, but I started covering, well, I did when I had Ed Losey on, but Ed Losey was the PR guy for the night party, as it was called then. I cold called him, recited my online credentials at the time, and he says, oh, you want to come? It was that easy.
Yeah.
And
now, a little point of interest. I'm sure you probably more than I know why they moved it from the Beverly Hills Hotel to the Hilton.
I know why. Because the Sultan of Brunei bought.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's a sticking point.
Exactly.
No, I didn't like it. I mean, I'll tell you what happened, okay? And look, the Sultan of Brunei bought the Dorchester Hotel Collection, which includes the Beverly Hills Hotel, which, okay, was the host of the night party, okay? And so everybody in Hollywood was saying, okay, you can't go there anymore because the Sultan of Brunei is anti-gay. Now, fine, except it hurt people who worked at the Beverly Hills Hotel, a set of whom happened to be LGBTQ, right? So,
Right.
I mean, it was literally throwing the baby out to the bathwater. He was the Sultan of Brunei in Brunei, right? In Brunei. And is he going to change? You know, I don't think he's going to change anytime soon. And so that's why it was moved to the Beverly
Hilton.
And I thought that was really sad that it was, because as much as the Beverly Hilton is a part of Hollywood history, I'm sorry, the Beverly Hills Hotel is more a part, because it has a place that you want to go to after the Oscars that I've had a whale of a time at, the Polo Lounge. You ever been to the Polo Lounge?
No, I haven't.
Oh my Lord. I have so many Polo Lounge stories. The Polo Lounge, folks, is a famous eatery that right now is already, I tell you, already sold out for Oscar Sunday. Okay. It has an outstanding brunch. The eggs Benedict is out of this world. But my first time there, this was 2010. I got a table, and this tall man, seemingly very tall because the table is kind of short, passed by me with his gorgeous female in tow, and they were headed over to this corner table. And at that corner table was none other than Kirk Douglas. There were not a lot of people in the place. On the other side of the room was Byron Allen with his wife. And I waved hi because, hey, you know, appreciate what he's done for blacks in Hollywood. Recognizable character, funny guy, and very nice. And there was this guy that was sitting with Kirk Douglas. I didn't quite know who he was. So I went, the tall guy walked past me, and that tall guy was George Hamilton. And that was his wife. And I thought, whoa. So then I got back home to not home to my hotel room, because that night, because where I was, that was the brunch of Oscar Sunday, and I was literally hanging out at the hotel. I didn't stay there. I stayed nearby until 2:30. And 2:30, you get in line to check in to interview the celebrities. But I had discovered that the guy that was with Kirk Douglas, okay, was a fellow who he was, among other things, famous British actor, and he hosted the BAFTAs a silly record number of times, something like how many times has he hosted the BAFTAs? But and his name is flying right out of my mind. But when I say it, anybody watching who knows particularly British film will say, "Oh yeah, right." But and BAFTA hosts, here it is. I'm actually looking up, because if I see the name of who hosted what, I'll get it. And now the awards categories, hosts, they have a list called host here, and who's presenting. Richard E. Grant's presented, I should say, because the BAFTAs were just done. And
what year are we talking about? Because I have the list in front of me. I can look up the year.
BAFTA hosts, let's see, how about let's say just say 2010. Okay.
Okay.
And
It doesn't show, but in 2009, Jonathan Ross was the host.
no, it's not Jonathan Ross.
For some reason, it skips because 2008 through 2013, there's no host listed. 2014, they list Stephen Fry.
That's him.
Okay.
That's him. Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry. Stephen
Is it
Fry.
Stephen or Stephen?
Stephen.
Stephen.
But he and I met on. He started following me on Twitter out of the blue. When I had this is why I want my @Zennie60. This is why I want my @Zennie62 Twitter account back. You know, I mean, it's a history.
Well, because they had Trump back on, why can't they let you back on?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, just it's so crappy, man. I get treated like crap, man. Just, oh, you're black, we can do that. And there's a lot of that now. But my whole point is, Mr. Fry had 3 million Twitter followers. And he followed me out of the blue. Why? I haven't the foggiest idea or clue. Other than apparently, I mean, I later found out he was gay. I was thinking, I hope he didn't think I was gay. But but he followed me. This is before I had ever met the guy in person. I never met the guy in person. But we did start corresponding privately about film and British politics in particular. Funny guy. But he never gave off that he was of an orientation, right? You know, our conversations were never even ventured into areas like that. Nothing. Anyway,
Did he say, "Oh, Zennie, come to my flat and we'll have a spot to take"?
No, nothing like that. Although, hey, if he'd invited me, I'd have went. Why not? Hey, and I'll put it on video though. Say, hey, can I put it on video, right? And we have a conversation.
His idol was Oscar Wilde, so that
yeah,
be the indicator.
He was an intellect.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephen Fry is an intellect, and he has a lot of interesting, great ideas, and I like to think I have some. But that man was sitting at the table with Kirk Douglas, and I put it together later. I thought, God, that was Stephen Fry. So I direct messaged him on Twitter, and he says, "Why didn't you come on over?" I was just like, yeah, why didn't I? Didn't know it was him. Of course, he didn't know who I was either.
In recent years, he did the audiobooks for not only Harry Potter, but the one movie my niece and nephew loved when they were a little bit younger was Paddington Bear.
Oh.
I don't know if you ever seen that.
I have not. And I have not seen that.
Honestly, even though it's a kid's movie, the first Paddington Bear, I think you and your mother would enjoy quite a bit.
What is the thing about Paddington Bear? Because isn't this the same character that was with the Queen?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really delve into the whole royal, but it was a good little movie. I mean, I don't know the history behind Paddington Bear.
Yeah, Paddington Bear was the focus of a segment with the Queen.
And according to this, Paddington is a character in children's literature which first appeared in 1958. And ironically, the origins is saying here is Peru, but it's well known for being a British character.
Yeah, and he was with the Queen. Paddington Bear doing Paddington Bear things, right? It's just someone might want to say. So I will let you go back to sleep.
Okay.
And it's 7:07 out there. And I think annually I get up this early and then I go back to sleep. Folks, support film. So what I have to say is make absolutely certain you support movies, because without our support of the movies, there would be no movies, right, Joseph?
Right, and the arts in general.
Yeah, and the arts. I couldn't have said it better myself. And the arts in general, definitely. All right, sir. I will talk to you later.
All right, take care.
Okay, see ya.
Right.
So that was Joseph Almenduras having a great conversation. I want to thank you all for joining us to talk about Oscar nominations. And now, hey, glad you're here. But we've just finished Joseph Almenduras and I talking about Oscar nominations, and I can go through a quick recap for you about who did what and who was snubbed and everything else. First of all, I would say no Best Picture. Black Panther is a bit of a shock to me. No Best Director. Joseph said it wasn't as good as Black Panther. Congratulations to Jamie Lee Curtis, Brendan Fraser in particular for being nominated. And I'll have the full tally at Zennie62 YouTube and Zennie62. I have the full tally, okay, at Zennie62blog.com, which is also Zennie62.com. And momentarily, I'm going to go get the full list and paste it over there. All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. And again, thank Zennie62 vlogger Joseph Almenduras for chiming in and talking with me about Oscar nominations. All right. See you later and live long and prosper, everybody. And for those watching who are from Oakland, watch out for my Oakland News Now Daily coming up today. That ends this